This is as good as it's going to get. Welcome back to Let's Thrive podcast. I'm Abby.
And I'm Bri.
And we are back for, I think this is episode 7, I want to say. But we're back, and we have a fire episode coming today. And we are talking about something that could be a little bit controversial, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I would say it is.
So we're talking about in-person trainers today. We're talking about the reality of them, who they might be for and who they may not be for, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah, because, I mean, although they're great, they have their pros, they have their cons, and the same with us. So we just kind of want to touch base and give you a little bit more insight and see what you may need personally.
Yeah, and obviously we are online coaches, so that's just, we'll put that out there. So, I mean, you could say we're biased, but we've also been on both sides of it, so I think that's a big part of it. In different ways. So I've had an in-person personal trainer before, I've had an online coach, and I've worked as an in-person trainer, and I've worked as an online coach. And Bri, you had a very similar situation too.
Yeah, I've had all of the above. I had an in-person personal trainer. I was an in-person personal trainer. I had several online coaches, and now I am an online coach. So yeah, same experience.
So we can't be that biased because we've seen all sides of it. So I just wanted to put that out there first.
Yeah.
But I guess we can just start with like a little story just to get started. So I worked as a personal trainer at my gym in 2021, I think it was. And I didn't even have my CPT. Let's just start with that. So was I qualified? I mean, I know I was. I was doing online at the time too. So I knew I was qualified, but I mean, my gym hiring me without having a CPT is a little sketch. So, I mean, obviously you should make sure that your trainer has like real certifications and has put the time in to learn so you can be taken care of properly. But anyway, so I had lots of clients there, and honestly, beginning of the summer, end of the summer, no one made changes. And I just wanted to say that because maybe some people did, but for the most part, I'll say I had an older client and he came to me like 4 times a week and we crushed his workouts. He was absolutely crushing it in the gym. Outside of the gym, what was he doing? He was going out to eat every night. I mean, he's older, he's retired. He was going out to eat every single night and no control over his nutrition. He came to me one morning and told me that he was doing a juice cleanse. He had something shipped to his door, juice cleansing, eating out all the time. And he just wasn't seeing weight loss. He wanted to lose weight in his stomach and just all around. And that's because he only had one tiny piece of the puzzle. He only had it's good to be able to show up to the gym and like do your training, but that's just one tiny piece of the puzzle. And that's typically what an in-person trainer is. So I just wanted to put that kind of story into perspective here.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good perspective. I did the same thing. Like I was in-person personal training from the wee hours of the morning to, mid-afternoon, and it was great. I had phenomenal clients. I would say that they were very motivated, very much like knew what they were doing. Like,
was it more like classes or was it one-on-one?
It was one-on-one and classes.
Okay.
But I had a lot of one-on-one clients as well. And like they knew what they were there for. They knew the purpose that they had in mind. They knew the goal that they wanted to reach. And I think the biggest struggle was the accountability, the nutrition, and the self-discipline, because we, at the time, did offer some sort of add-on for nutrition, but I wasn't very, as in-depth as what Abby and I are doing now. But for the most part, like the clients excelled. They did amazing in their physical training and physical training alone. Yet they were still struggling to see some weight loss, some fat loss, and fitting into better clothes. And the reason for that is because as an in-person personal trainer, like you may have us for the physical accountability, the physical like, oh, let me go ahead and give you XYZ. This is exactly what you're going to do. This is how you're going to do it. Let me correct you. But at the same time, you're not getting a lot more of the ins and outs, like the check-ins. Like your trainer isn't coming home with you. Like you're going to be with them, feel really good for that 45 to 60 minute session. But then when you go home, everything else is dependent on you. So if you don't have that self-discipline either way, with or without a trainer, you're still probably not going to see progress. So
yes. And I have a lot of analogies for this one because I talk to a lot of girls about this and they're like, I should just do an in-person trainer. And I like to explain it to them as you have a puzzle. A puzzle has a bunch of pieces in it. an in-person trainer is typically just one of those pieces, is the training, is getting to the gym that 1 hour of the day. What are you doing with the other like 23 hours of the day?
Yeah.
Are you getting enough sleep? What are you eating? How's your nutrients? Like all those little things. Are you actually staying accountable? Are you getting your daily steps in? Like there's so much else that goes into it. And the workouts are just one tiny piece of the puzzle. And typically you're just getting fed workouts. Like do this, do that. You might have some form tips in there, which form can be helpful in person for sure, but you can still make tons of form improvements with an online coach too, just like in a different way because they're not physically there with you. But yeah, I just say that's one piece of the puzzle, because what are you doing the rest of the day? Are you going out and drinking every night? Are you ordering food every night? What do your food choices look like? Are you not even tracking?
Yeah, so it really just depends on, I guess, your goals. Like, what do you want for yourself? Do you have everything like in line when it comes to your nutrition, your habits, your discipline, but you just want that, friendship, that community, that in-person physical accountability? Or do you think that's your first step to getting everything else in line? Because I'll tell you firsthand, it's not going to be the best option, personally, from my experience, of getting everything else in line, because you're being spoon-fed the exercises, you're being spoon-fed the form, and you don't have to go in there.
You don't have to think.
Thought.
You don't have to like critically think, and you don't have to build as much discipline. Exactly. It doesn't take that much discipline to show up to meet your trainer for 1 hour.
No, it doesn't. But it takes a lot of discipline to go home after when she's not looking and make something good.
Yes.
But if you go home and just because she's not there, or maybe he's not there watching you or taking a look at what you're eating, you'll feel like, oh, well, I can go ahead and have it. Like, they won't know, but we know. But another topic on this that we kind of want to touch base on is the investment portion. Because a lot of people will be like, okay, I thought about online coaching with you, but I don't really know. I think an in-person trainer is going to be a little bit better. Or
cheaper, sometimes they'll say.
Yeah. When in reality, if you get really high qualified in-person personal trainer, for you, you're taking up a lot of their time throughout their day. They could be spending time with their family. They could be doing anything else than being there with you. But because of the fact that they are there for you and with you, they're going to charge you a decent amount because of the fact that they know that their time is valuable and they know that they're resourceful. So a high quality in-person personal trainer will most likely cost anywhere between $45 to even $100 a session, just depending on maybe location, credentials, experience, and things of that nature.
And that's one session, 1 hour. Some people even charge for like 30 minutes, but generally 1 hour.
Yeah.
That's 1 hour of the week. You might have to go like 3 to 5 times.
So an example is, I know here in North Dallas, like I've checked out a couple of the in-person training facilities, like whether that's at a commercial gym or whether that's at a private boutique studio, but those ranges are within North Dallas anywhere between 60 to 80 for the 60-minute session. And that is just 1 hour, that is one day. And let's just say you want to be going to the gym with your trainer about 3 times a week. Then that's an average of $180 to $240 a week. And then you multiply that by 4 for the entire month, So that's anywhere between $720 and almost $1,000 at $960 a month, just for training. 1 hour of stretching, doing some squats and cool downs.
And a lot of talking, probably.
Yeah, and a lot of rapport. So a lot of the times, like with this experience that I've had as an in-person trainer, I am communicating with my client, not only instructing them on what to do, but having that rapport and relationship with them to the point where sometimes if you get too caught up in a conversation, they will not finish their workout. And that is not what you're there for.
They're paying you like $1 a minute at least. Or 2.
Yeah. So that's just the investment of an in-person trainer, not including nutrition, not including accountability, check-ins, habits, and everything else that could be provided for you at a cheaper monthly cost with an online coach.
So is there a time and place for an in-person trainer? Yes, but we're talking about for the majority of girls that are looking for structure, accountability, discipline, and want to learn how to make this a lifestyle and learn how to do it on their own. Probably not the best bet for you. So probably most of our listeners are falling into that category instead of like, maybe if you're like a richer, older person that just, they just want a friend, they just want to show up. I mean, some trainers will do the nutrition too, I'm sure. There's going to be some that do that. We're talking about the majority of trainers just do the training. Usually the nutrition is like add-ons, and it's not that constant support because they clock in and they clock out. It's not like what we do with online is like you can contact us like anytime as your coach. Like you can message us at any time, you can schedule calls, and that's kind of like one of the big differences there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that's really important too, because we are, like you had said earlier, we're not giving you the fish, we're teaching you how. Like we're teaching you how to build these functional roadblocks on, or not roadblocks, but building blocks on how to become better every single day, not just for the hour. And helping you become and transition into this new lifestyle that you're going to carry on for the rest of your life, rather than completing just your 1 hour session or the 12 sessions that you bought. So
100%. And I think for a lot of people at this point, a lot of women have tried a lot of things. And the women that come to us, they give us this laundry list of things they've tried. Keto, low carb, I don't even know, carb cycling.
Yeah, like detox teas.
Oh, yes, whatever, that stuff. Usually on the list too is they've worked with an in-person trainer. And a lot of my girls are nurses, and they're like, my in-person trainer doesn't get my schedule. So it's like there's a lot of things that you're missing out on when you just depend on that in-person aspect of it. And there's a lot of hand-holding with the in-person aspect of it. Like obviously you have to meet them there at a certain time, and you don't want to have your hand held forever. You don't want to have an in-person trainer to be able to show up to the gym, because that means you really don't have any discipline to do so otherwise.
Exactly. There was a point that I had in my head, but totally lost it. But I think that's really good, because going back to just everything that we've talked about when it comes to in-person and online, like you are getting so much bang for your buck when it comes to online coaching. And again, like we probably sound as biased as possible, but it's just the reality of it, because I have experienced online coaching and in-person.
And you see the results people get.
And it's so funny, because I've had also online coaches, or I've had an online coach who is also like a lower ticket online coach, and I received, that could
be a whole nother conversation.
I received lower quality results with that. So
you do get what you pay for, no matter in person, online, whatever. If you're paying for a $17 a month Beachbody program, you're gonna get $17 Beachbody results.
Yeah, exactly. Like your heart lies where you put your treasure, and like your investments say a lot about your priorities. So
yeah, and either way, coaches condense time, which saves you money in the long run. So just something to think about. And that could be a little bit of a what kind of like not controversial, but kind of
like ruffle some feathers
kind of topic, because a lot of people work with in-person trainers,
but a lot of people are in-person trainers, and that's great. Good for you if you love it. That's your passion.
It's super great for experience.
But at the same time, there are people who are trying to find something, and not everyone will do their best with in-person, and not everyone will do their best with online. So you just got to find out what your goals are and who is going to be the person that's actually going to get you there. Boom.
Yeah, I think that was fire. Right under 15 minutes. Whoop. So yeah, we're going to close out on this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget, you can message us on Instagram if you have any questions, anything at all. We're always here to chat.
Yep. See y'all